What up, Hope Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten, back at it again. Occasionally, I get comments that complain about how much I talk at the beginning of my videos. And I just want to say, y'all are lucky. The amount of things that are going on in my brain at any one time is way more than anyone should ever have to deal with. And you guys get like a condensed, truncated, curated version of that, okay? Because at any point in time, my brain is like, what should I make for dinner? Remember that one time you completely humiliated yourself 11 years ago? Did I remember to lock the door? I think my tummy hurts. I should call my friend. Do you remember that one time that your mom completely traumatized you and then pretended that she didn't remember? I think my head hurts. I want a nap. Like, that's me. My brain is just constantly on 10. I do my best, okay, to make sure that I'm at least somewhat focused when we shoot videos. But as I'm sure you've seen from how often I get distracted and go off on tangents, it doesn't always work. Y'all are really just lucky that you guys don't get 7-8 minute intros. Let's be real about that. Because not to be that person who's just like, I'm so random, like I just always have the most random thoughts, because like that's not, I don't have random thoughts. Think of my thoughts like a river, right? My thoughts are a river, constantly flowing, sometimes rushing, sometimes smooth, but there's 1,001 tributaries, okay, contributing to my river of thoughts, and I am more than willing and happy to explore every single one of them. Every one. And I don't, for you guys. So you're welcome. But also thank you so much to everyone who's like, I actually really like your intros, because I like your intros too. And by your intros, I mean you, yourself. Anywho's, today we are here for another Reddit story. You guys have been enjoying it. I'm having a great time. So this one is kind of distressing. I don't want to give too much away. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. My husband drained our accounts and wants to kick the kids and I out of the house in a week. A week? What? Okay. Hi. They told me in r/relationships that this is illegal and that you guys would have advice. We're in Ohio. I need a divorce lawyer. On Wednesday, I bought him a fucking Christmas present. On Thursday, I found out he gave me an STI. Oh no, baby. Oh no. On Friday, he admitted he's been cheating. Yesterday, he drained our accounts. Bitch! He says I need to be out of the house by Christmas Eve. Oh, hell no. We have 4 kids, 8, 6, 5, and 2. I haven't worked since the oldest was born. Our relationship has been bad since before my youngest daughter was born. We hadn't meant to get pregnant. This week, I tested positive for an STI. I investigated, confronted him, and he admitted it. We had a huge fight, and he stormed out of the house. Yesterday, my credit card was declined at the grocery store, and I couldn't get cash. He has emptied all of our accounts. I was in charge of the bills and finances. I know exactly how much was in our checking, savings, and money market account. He's changed his password for his 401k. He didn't respond to my frantic texts all day, but just sent me an email saying I had a week to get myself and my kids out of his house, and I had better get a job or go back to my parents if I expect to feed them. We bought the house together before the kids were born, and I paid half the down payment. I have no money or credit cards, so I can't even get a lawyer. I'm sitting here staring at a Christmas tree, crying and wondering if I'll have to return my children's presents for food. I have no idea how this happened. I live 2 hours away from my family, so even if I got a job, I'd have to pay for daycare. Should I sell my wedding and engagement rings? Do I make a resume and apply for a job in my old field, accounting, or just get a job at Starbucks or McDonald's? Can he do this? TLDR, I'm a stay-at-home mom and my husband has taken all of my money and is going to kick us out of the house. I am simply in shock. First of all, I feel like this post calls for a return of the Hope Biscuit chorus. Now my OGs from weekly Twitter advice know what the Hope Biscuit chorus is, but for those of you who don't know what it is, why did I do that? Whatever. For those of you who don't know what it is, cut him, burn his shit, and leave him. Now he, like a coward, is not at the house, which means maybe you can't cut him, but you know what you can fucking do? Burn his shit. Pile it, on the front lawn, the back lawn, the street, wherever you like. and burn that shit. Burn it. Burn it. Burn the house too while you're at it. You know what, motherfucker? If I can't live here, you can't fucking live here either. You can't live here either. That might be taking it too far, but I don't feel like it is. My blood pressure's up right now. Let's see. This is an r/legal advice. So I'm really hoping that there's some like real actual advice in here, and not just people being like me. Let's see what the internet has to say, and then we'll get to the update. So this person said, man, your attorney is going to wreck him over this. That much bad faith is going to make a judge a lot less sympathetic to any arguments he makes in his favor when determining custody and the division of assets. Do not move out until your attorney tells you to or a judge orders you out. That house is likely as much yours as his, and if so, he cannot evict you for any reason. If you have the money, get an attorney now and start the process of getting an emergency support order. She just told you she didn't have any money. Why would you say that? He doesn't get to leave you high and dry like that. If you can't afford an attorney or if he's taken all the money you might use, call around anyways or get in touch with legal aid. Okay, there's the useful part of the advice. In the interim, do what you need to do to survive and feed your kids. Get in touch with your local food bank and with a domestic violence shelter. You are not alone. This person said, former divorce lawyer. Go to a lawyer now, regardless of how much cash you have on hand. Here in Florida, a divorce lawyer can file a petition on your behalf for temporary support and attorney's fees as soon as the divorce is filed. It allows the lawyer to ask the judge for money, either lump sum or monthly, during the lawsuit in order to cover your expenses, even before final determinations are made. It's specifically in place for situations like this, which are not too uncommon. I would bet that a similar mechanism is available in your state. That makes me happy. That makes me so happy. This person says the good news in most every state, if not all, what he's doing is against state statute. The bad news, as we're in a holiday period, unless you find a lawyer who knows a judge and can convince them to give you an emergency hearing, nothing can be done about this until likely after Christmas. I would start looking for lawyers this week. You do not have to leave when he says you do. He can call the police. He can say his lawyer says you have to leave, but unless he has a court order giving him the home, you have the right to be there. In fact, if you want to stay in the home after divorce, I highly suggest you do not leave unless you fear for your life or the safety of your children, which is a different story. If the house was bought during your marriage, you likely have some property rights in it. Call the police and report any threats he makes against you. This is upsetting, right? This is very unhappy. This is like the worst. There is an update. I'm so excited. Because I hate stories like this and then I don't ever know what happened. I get so invested in these Reddit stories and then I'm just left hanging and I don't know. It takes an emotional toll on me. I'm a very sensitive person. Anyway, here's the update. First, I want to say that I logged out of this account that evening and didn't come back until now, and I was blown away by all of the people offering food, gift certificates, and just goodwill, and I started crying again. I will respond to each of you individually. So to recap, my soon-to-be ex is a cheating ass and he panicked and tried to erase his family. The update, this all happened on a Sunday, so there wasn't a lot I could do right then because you live in fucking Ohio. In Vegas, you could do something. I put the kids to bed and called my mom and cried. Then I called my mother-in-law, who was horrified. My in-laws came over that night with $200 in cash and a check for much more. My father-in-law didn't say much, but he did fix my bathroom door, which is how he shows affection, and muttered that he would fix this. That's so sweet. I'm so glad that his parents stood behind you. That makes me so happy. I opened a new checking account at a new bank. Thanks for this advice with the check my in-laws gave me. I opened a new credit card in my name. My mother deployed a niece to help with childcare for the next week. I called in a lot of child minding favors, and with the cash my in-laws gave me, I was able to pay the babysitter while I worked this out. I met with 2 divorce attorneys. Both of them told me about what you had said, that he was legally screwed. I chose one and we set the process in motion to get an emergency hearing, but by Tuesday, my old checking account had most of the money back and my husband was asking to talk. On the advice of my lawyer, I took half of the checking account money and put it in my new bank and kept records of everything. I pulled our credit reports. He has over $40,000 in credit card debt? He's so fucked. I also found out that he received a raise last year and funneled this money out of our shared accounts. I would have figured this out when I did our taxes, and this led to him panicking and trying to erase us. Keep in mind, this asshole gave me gonorrhea. I'm an accountant by trade, and I'm afraid of credit card debt the way some girls are afraid of spiders, so I was horrified about this, but my lawyer thinks it's likely that I'll have to have this debt on my own as my name isn't on it, and it seems that most of it was spent on his side piece. We have started mediation, which he agreed to when he realized that he would need to pay for both of our attorneys. My goal, which my lawyer thinks is reasonable, is to ask for alimony until I either remarry, not likely, or my 2-year-old is in school full-time, and to have a reasonable amount of child support until she is 18, and then we'll split our college costs for all of them. When all the kids are in school, I can concentrate on getting back to work. I also plan to sell the house and buy a smaller house in a less elite section of town. The kids can share rooms and I can live mortgage free. So I'm heartbroken and diseased, but there's also an incredible weight that has lifted from me. Our marriage has been bad for so long and I didn't even realize how unhappy I was and how absent my husband was. It took my 5-year-old almost a week to realize that daddy was gone. Everything is looking up. The update makes me really happy. Again, just like with the other Reddit thing that I posted or should have posted by now. Maybe I haven't posted it yet and this is a spoiler, but I am a sucker for a happy ending. Like, this makes me so happy. Like, obviously this is the worst case scenario of a best case. Oh, sorry. This is the best case scenario of a worst case scenario. You feel me? Like, she's like, her husband gave her an STI, is $40,000 in credit card debt, and tried to just like kick her out of the house. But she ended up with, like, in the best situation she could. She had a babysitter. Her parents and her in-laws are standing behind her. Like, she just has so much support. And it just makes me so happy because so many women in this situation have nothing and no one, you know, and so they feel stuck. They stay in abusive or, you know, manipulative marriages with, you know, and it's just, people in general just don't normally get that kind of support. So I'm so glad that she had that. That makes me really happy. Make sure you let me know what you guys think about the situation. Also, don't forget to leave your reaction requests and recommendations down in the comments below. And other than that, peace out, hope biscuits. It's Skittin' Lit.